Hello, hello. Just testing the sound here, and looks like it's working fine. And let's see, dropped a note on Periscope. If you're not following me on Periscope, you should, because I give some gems when it comes to, sorry, I should be looking at you, not my computer screen, when it comes to selling on Amazon. All right, so let's give it a second here, and we'll start. And I will be sharing the screen so you don't have to, stare at me the whole time. Let me see. Let me get the chat going too, maybe. Where's the screen share? Okay. So I'm going to go into the screen share and pull up my presentation, and you should be able to see that. All right. Cameraman. This is my first time using Google Hangout on air, and we'll see how it goes, right? All right, let's go ahead and get started. So as the title said, the title of the presentation is how to launch your Amazon business in 30 days. And of course, it's all about making money, right? So that's why we sell. Let me pull this up. Okay. Okay, so I think you should see this. Okay, so what I'm going to cover in this presentation is that, here's my promise. So I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to sell on Amazon, why, what, and how, right? And then actionable plan, how you can really do it in 30 days. So what is Amazon? And this is not the river, right? So we're not talking about the river. It is the largest e-commerce platform in the US, definitely. It's one of the largest in the world. It also has strong presence in Europe, Japan, Canada, and Mexico. And here are some numbers. 2014, they had 2007 billion in revenue. And what's really important for us is that there is 46 million Prime customers in 2014. That's the estimated number. And Prime customers, they're the ones that we really want to capture when we talk about selling on Amazon. And we'll look at that how. If you ever bought on Amazon, and you probably have, you probably know that sometimes the seller is Amazon and sometimes not. In fact, 47% of all the sales come from non-Amazon, so third-party sellers. And those are sellers like me, or probably you in future, and it goes, the wide spectrum up to the really large brands. Okay, now, so why? Let's talk about why. You probably have your own reasons, right, why you're interested in selling Amazon and why it's, but I'll tell you why it's a good opportunity, and it's probably going to resonate with your initial interest, right? So first of all, it's an online-based business that gives you freedom to set your hours, your scale, your pace, and operate on your budget. And it can be started with small investment, which is very important. You can start with as little as $100. Depending on, even if things that you sell over your home, that you find around your house, that's even less than that. And the last point is scalable with potential of passive income. So what that means is really, if you start small and you keep growing and growing, you can get it to, fairly sizable business. And with the right business model, it can be fairly passive, meaning that you can be making money when you're not actively working, so not necessarily trading dollars for hours. Now, who am I? Let me tell you my story first of all, and why I should be sitting here and telling you about how to launch a business, Amazon business in 30 days. So here's my story. This used to be my world, my second home for about 8 years. This is you from my cubicle. I took that picture right before I left, and I didn't know why. I guess not that I would be sentimental, but now I know why I took it. So, this is where I spend my time. I worked long hours, sometimes weekends, and then we had little son, and he was in daycare for 9 hours a day, and it was just becoming not very sustainable. So in 2014, I quit. We took 3 months off, and we traveled through Mexico and Central America with our then 18-month-old son, and he loved it. And then I got back, I had to figure out quickly what I want to do, and I didn't want to go back to sit in the cubicle under fluorescent lights, so to say. It was a great experience, and I worked with great people, but I didn't quite see how the work-life balance is ever going to work out where I can actually do things I want to do with my family. So that was my life then. And this is my story now. And this is this is our second son. This is pretty much how I work nowadays. And I give you a snapshot here from my sales from last year, and to talk about online business that is scalable. This is literally how I operate. With a laptop, and sometimes with a baby on a lap. But this is why I love selling on Amazon, because it gives me ability to work from home. Okay. And this is, I just took this picture. My oldest son, he didn't quite want to look at the camera. So we had a friend visiting, a week ago, and she was visiting during a week. And so we took some time off and went up to Park City and just had a great time. And, this was taken on a Wednesday afternoon. And when I was working in a corporate world, I would have had to schedule time off, assuming that I would be able to get it in a fairly short notice and then somehow make up for it because things will be piling up. Well, I don't have to do this. So I can do things like this. Of course, and travel will come too once our youngest is a little bit older. But this is why, this is my story. I want to share you why I started selling on Amazon, and why I'm passionate about telling it, because it allows us to build our dreams and to create the life that we want, or at least work hard for the life that we want rather than build somebody else's dreams. So now the first question I want to ask you is, what is your story? So I told you mine, and you probably have interest in selling on Amazon, and your story might be similar or might be different. And if I say, I don't want to sell on Amazon, and it's not really about money. Of course it's about money, but it usually represents something else, something more important, right? What is it about? Why would you want to build business on Amazon? Is it, so you can have money for experiences, vacations, and have flexible time off, taking time off? Or do you want more financial security? You have a goal of paying off mortgage, children's college, whatever that might be. Or maybe you have a job that you would really love to leave at some point, and then you need to build something else in order to be able to do that. And it's, the last one is a really big one, where you just have freedom to set your own schedule. Like right now, I'm speaking to you in the middle of the day while, my son is napping. So things like this, is little things like this that really make life joy, right? All right, now let's go to the next one. So now we discussed why, and now let's talk about what can be sold on Amazon. It can be branded physical products, meaning that you're selling products that are somebody's else. Just it could be big brands or it could be smaller brands. It doesn't matter. The point being is that it's brands that are manufactured by somebody else. You can sell your own products. You have your own product with your brand. It's maybe there is a product you already have, or you're thinking about maybe coming up with your own. You can also sell ebooks. In this presentation, we're not going to talk about ebooks, but I just want to mention that Kindle publishing is also a great way to start a business, and build it up, because it has passive element as well. Or also, not eBay, Amazon launched Amazon Handmade, which is a competitor to Etsy. So you can start selling your handmade products as well, on Amazon platform. Especially if you're selling on Etsy, that's just another way for you to expand your sales. Now, let's talk about process. So we talked about why you want to do it. Then we talked about what we can sell on Amazon. Now, let's the process. So first of all, we need an Amazon seller account. Then we need to find products to sell, right? What we're going to sell. Then we need to list them, meaning that we need to list them in Amazon catalog, making them available for sale, and we need to price them. Then we need to, if we're using an FBA program, which I do encourage, we need to ship them to Amazon warehouse so they're available for sale. Once they're received by Amazon, they will go live, meaning they'll be available for sale for customers, and then start selling. Then you receive proceeds from Amazon for your sale. Then you take that and probably, hopefully reinvest, and then just repeat the process. So in a high level, as you can see, the process is fairly simple. It's just not always easy. There's a lot of things in life, but let's go step by step. Don't worry, we'll cover it. So first, there's Amazon seller account. It's very easy to open. You can Google it, or you can just, just hop on this link. And there are two option plans. There is individual selling plan, and there is professional selling plan. So the difference is that in the individual plan does not have a fee, but there is a per item fee. And professional plan, there is right now it's $39.99 a month, $39.99 to start selling on Amazon. In individual selling plan, there is some restrictions on what you can do. You can create your own listing. There is some limited tools. But it's because there is no monthly fee, you can start under individual plan and then upgrade once you're ready, because it'll take you only to sell 40 items a month to justify having professional selling plan. To start with, if you're not really sure what you want to do, then I would say start with individual selling plan. If you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to send 40 items within the next month, then go ahead and do professional selling plan, because in the long term, that's what makes sense. Okay, let's go to the next one. Identify products to sell. So this is where the rubber meets the road, right? So what do we start selling? That's the most common question I get. So you can start from your home, meaning literally. So there's things at your home that you can sell on Amazon. It could be, even used books or board games that, whether used or new, that you just don't need, maybe some electronic items, or some home and kitchen items. So you can find things around your house and just simply test it, put them up on sale on Amazon and see what happens. Then the next model is arbitrage, and this is where you use other places, brick and mortar stores, liquidation, thrift stores, yard sales, online stores online, to find differences in market prices between that store. Pretty much you buy for less and sell higher, right? That's the point of the arbitrage model. Then you can do wholesale, that as a business you establish, then you can start working with manufacturers, distributors to buy at a discount and sell on Amazon. Or you can sell, if you have a product, your own product that you would like to sell, then you can use this model. It's called private label. Okay, let's talk about arbitrage. So what is arbitrage? It's taking advantage of price differences in different markets. That's definition in financial world, and that's how the same concept here. And when we talk about selling on Amazon, you can have retail or online arbitrage. Retail arbitrage, when you literally go physically to thrift stores, big box stores, Targets, Walmarts, whatnot, Kohl's of this world, and find things that are sell for cheaper, and you can sell for more on Amazon. So what are the advantages of it? If you find something on clearance or discount, you can have some nice margins. You can go from 30 to 200% as your return on investment. What are some disadvantages? Well, you can physically go only so many stores, right? And if you don't go, you're not able to find things. So there's lack of scalability. However, it's where I started, and that's where a lot of sellers start. So I suggest you try it out because it's accessible in terms of anytime you go grocery shopping, you can just go on your time to to a store. You can already start working on this method with very little investment of time or money. So how do you do that? First of all, you need to download Amazon Seller app, and that's in both for iPhone and Android. What that allows you is to scan UPC codes on items. It will automatically pull up Amazon listings, so you will immediately see, if the product that you're looking at in a store that you're holding in your hand can give you any margins when you sell it on Amazon. And some kind of a key when you're in a store, just look for sales, liquidation, closeouts, final sales. Anytime you see any type of indication that there is a big discount, that's kind of an easy way to start honing in on some potential opportunities. Online arbitrage. Sorry, let's look at some examples, right? So this is an example of something that I found in a local liquidation store, and I bought it. I think in the end it was about 30 of them at 99 cents. Now look at the crazy price on Amazon. When I sold it for about $27 to $29.99, and right now is even more. And the rank, meaning it's still selling, so the item still sells well. And the reason is because this type of bottle nipple was discontinued by manufacturers. So some moms are going to be willing to pay more money because for whatever reason their baby likes latex nipple, and right now most of the bottle nipples are made from silicone. So this is, literally in a matter of probably investment of 3 hours, my profit was about $800. So it's definitely more than probably, it's maybe more than what you make at your job when you take it hours for dollars, right? It's definitely, I would say it's a little bit more outlier. Not every item you find is going to have such huge margins, but it's possible. I found this little gold mine 2 months into me selling on Amazon. So, and I ran with it for as long as that store had supplies. So now let's look at this another example. When I walked into Barnes & Noble because I wanted a cup of coffee. So when I got my Starbucks and thought I would walk around for a bit, and I found this Scrabble game for $6.95, and look at the price here. So they had only 5, but hey, when you talk about profit of over $100 for literally 10 minutes, and when I didn't even have intention of finding something, I just wanted a cup of coffee, and that's what I found. So these are some examples of retail arbitrage, what you can find when you go to stores. Now online is online arbitrage. So what it is, when you go to other e-commerce sites, you can go to Walmart.com, Target.com, ToysRUs.com, and find, use similar method, but just you buy things online to have them shipped to you, and then, you sell them on Amazon. So what are the advantages? It's convenient. You can do it at home in your pajamas when you watch TV, so pretty much at any time, right? You don't have to physically go to store. What are disadvantages is that it's accessible to everybody. Anybody with internet, which nowadays is everybody, right, can hop on and find the exact same items in that space. But it's also a great way to, I do a lot of that now because I like the convenience, and it's just a matter of, finding some smaller stores, on finding your niche that it's not, it's not Walmart that everybody knows, some smaller stores. So how to start? Visit your favorite, preferably smaller online retailer. I would suggest you can go to Walmart and Target, but I would suggest to maybe look up somebody smaller and start comparing prices on Amazon. And at some point you'll come across something that is, that you can sell online for profit, on Amazon for profit. So here are some examples that I pulled probably a week ago, so it's probably still live. meaning it's still available. So this is, Crocs, which are well in season right now, and they're selling on Amazon $49.99, and I found them on boscovs.com. I think they were 20. Oh, right here it says $19.99. So you can see the profit of $19. Pretty good, right? Here's another example. The profit is a bit less. It's probably going to be about $7, but this is, crib sheets. So they're small, they're very light, easy to ship and pack. And this is something that Kmart consistently carries. So, I've bought this item on and off. And that's a, good example of online arbitrage. Now, let's see, hopefully you can see let's see. I think you can see right? Okay. Let's rock and roll. Next, wholesale. So this is where you need to be established as a business, and you can work directly with manufacturers or distributors to buy items at discount. What I like about it? It's easily replenishable. Once you have a good account, you can just call, you spend a few minutes a month to reorder the item. So the cons are that is smaller margins, and it does take time to find good products and establish relationships. So there's a little bit of work up front. Now you do need to set up as a business with a reseller license, and you can just start looking for products, and it could be anything, the product that you like, and look at the box, the packaging, who makes it, reach out to them and see if you can set up a wholesale account with them. Sorry for the typo there. Now, private label. So this is a product where you sell your own product, meaning that let's say your name is John and you came up with John's wonderful spatula, right? And you put a brand on it, you put a logo, it's yours. So you can start selling on Amazon as your wonderful spatula. Now, what is great about this model is that you can have really good margins, and once you get going, it can have passive elements. It's a passive income. The disadvantage is that it does take capital and time investment upfront. There is risk because nobody knows who John is, right? Like, why should they should be buying wonderful spatula from John? How is it better than, some bigger brands? So there is definitely upfront investment of time and capital. How to start? Do market research first. Do not just take the product that you like. Decide, identify what does market like, what are maybe potential gaps in the market, and then start looking for a supplier to make that product. Now, let's say we found products to sell, right? So now let's do the next. We have our account, we found products to sell, then now we need to list them and price them. So in the Amazon Seller Central account that you'll have once you open an account, you just need to go add a product, and you can create your own, if it's existing, you can hop on existing listing, and don't create your own if product is already in Amazon catalog, or you can create your own if it's something that is not selling on Amazon yet. Now, I do want you to keep in mind that there are some gated categories, meaning that you need to be improved in them before you start selling on Amazon. Example being groceries, beauty, health, personal care, clothing. So I would say start with other ones that are ungated, such as electronics, home and kitchen, sports. These are the ones. Toys. That's a big one, right? Toys. So that's already great. Opportunities in those categories that I would say start with those, and then once you get going, ask for approval to get ungated in others. Now, we need to talk about some key concept, because you found items, say, how do you know they sell well, right? And you can make profit. So first of all is the concept of sales rank. The lower the rank is, the faster item sells. And you can see sales rank on the bottom of a listing. When you go to a listing, if you scroll down, it's going to be in the bottom. So here's an example. This rank is 28,542 in toys, which is pretty decent. So that you want that rank to be the lower is the better. And the concept of a buy box, right? So what is a buy box? When you put an item, you search for item in Amazon search window, then a bunch of options come up. You pull one, and this is what comes up, right? So buy box is pretty much what is the listing, what is the product description, picture, and who's selling it. So you can see here, sold by M Warner 10. Here is a feature seller, meaning that once you click buy, you're going to buy it from this seller. And Amazon does, if there's more than one seller on the listing, it does what we say rotate buy box, meaning that everybody should get an opportunity to be in front of customer eyes to sell an item. Now, all right, so we listed item. Now we need to ship it. So before we go into that, there are two ways to ship an item. So you have merchant fulfilled, where you're responsible for shipping, returns, customer service, and when item sells, you literally package it and you send it. Just like let's say if you sell on eBay or other marketplaces. Or you can use fulfillment by Amazon, which is what I recommend, which is what I use exclusively, where I send my items to Amazon warehouse, and then Amazon handles order processing, shipping, customer service, returns. So this is what allows you to scale, because you can send a huge shipment and then just watch items start selling, and Amazon doing all the shipping, and you don't have to be glued to your computer or be at home to ship an item when it sells. Here's the FBA process in overview. You send products to Amazon, Amazon stores products, customer purchases products, and when it's sold, Amazon does all the nitty-gritty of picking it, packing and shipping. And then if there's any issue or if customer wants to return it, then they send it to Amazon directly. Now, what are advantages of FBA? So there's obviously, as I mentioned, scalability, flexibility gives you time to, to step away and not worry about it because things are selling. You wake up and you already have some sales. And what's important, it gives you access to prime buyers. So they're the ones that are kind of a creme a la creme, so to say, of the Amazon shipping, because prime buyers that pay, I think it's now $99 a month, a year, to have guaranteed 2-day shipping, hassle-free returns, and a lot of other benefits. A lot of times, these buyers will buy even at higher price from sellers that use a FBA program, because they have guarantee of Amazon. They will get at their doorstep in 2 days, and it's the product is as described and everything that comes with that guarantee. Now, the trade-off is that there are fees, of course. So the kind of giving you estimate here, it's about 25-30% of selling price. And here's an example. So here, I know there's a lot of numbers, but here I just want you to know, pay attention here. So the item that sells for $29.99, if you fulfill it yourself, you get $24.74 back. If you use FBA, you get $22.46. So there is a fee, and there is this extra cost of $3. To me, it's definitely worth it. But I just wanted to give you example of how it works and what does it look like. All right, so the next one is getting paid. This is my favorite part, and let me pull up a chat here. Sorry, I was going to do it earlier. All right. Just so I can see here. Okay, so Amazon pays twice every 14 days, and it's automatic transfer to whatever account you set up. Now, I do suggest, actually, it's really a requirement if you want to be successful, to start tracking costs and profit early on. When you start, you can do it in the spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be complicated, but keep track of everything, because, in the end, it's going to play in your actual margins. And then once you get paid, I also suggest to reinvest money back in the building your business as much as you can. Reinvest as much as you can. Now, I have some golden tips, and that is what I learned through my experience and the experience of other sellers that I've seen, things that I've seen happen. So first of all, follow terms of services, which are pretty much the rules and guidelines of how you operate as a seller on Amazon platform. It is super important because Amazon is, sometimes they slap you on the hand before figuring out whether you did anything wrong. And sometimes that slap on the hand can actually be as serious as suspending your account, right? So pleading ignorance doesn't quite always work. I don't want to scare you, but I want to just point out to take responsibility for learning everything, how, what are the rules. If you're not sure, check with Amazon seller support first. You can also check with other experienced sellers, but there's seller support there. They have a lot of tutorials and Q&A type of things. If you don't know something, check that first before doing it and hoping that it will work out. The second one, as I mentioned earlier, know your numbers. Know your numbers. I cannot stress that enough. It's a very number-driven game. And costs, it's not just the cost of an item. There's other costs that come into play. So you need to keep track of those if you really want to make money. Now, the next one is do not compete with Amazon on price. If you are selling a product that Amazon is selling as well, Amazon will win. It's it's their platform, and they can afford to have loss leaders. And a smaller seller, I speak for myself, I cannot, and I do not want to. There's plenty of opportunities to sell products that Amazon is not on. Then reinvest profit as much as you can, and profit, and it may be everything that you get back from Amazon. The next one is that I definitely was guilty at some point. Do not become attached to inventory unless you sell your handmade products, or it's your private label, or it's your baby. It's you're passionate about it. It's inventory, because when you become attached to it, you think, oh, it's a good item. Why it's not selling for the price that I want? What's going on? It's emotions start playing to it, and you will start making mistakes. Be objective as much as you can. Treat it as your portfolio. It's a portfolio of items. It's, for the better, lack of a better word, it is it's widgets, right? So do not become emotionally attached. Now, how do I start? In the beginning, I told you that this is going to be launching your Amazon business in 30 days. And here's how you can do it. So week 1, find out what is your why. The why that I was sharing it with you in the beginning. My why was having time and freedom and flexibility to build my life, and to be able to go to zoo on Tuesday morning and take time off, and spend time with my kids. So what is your why? Might be different, and why it's important is it needs to be first step, because how you build your business needs to be aligned with your why. Because you start, for example, I noticed at some point last year that how I was working, I was using a lot of arbitrage model, that I pretty much started creating a job for myself. And I stepped back thinking, well, I didn't start this so I can have another job. So I stepped back, I changed my model, I focused on wholesale, because I looked at automating certain things, delegating, hiring help. And that realigned with my why. So always check in as you build your business, why you started doing it, if it still kind of works with that. Open your Amazon Seller individual account, very easy. Then go download your Amazon Seller app. Then you can start looking for products that can be sold for profit. In the beginning, the first week, just take your Amazon Seller app, and you can scan things that you have in your house, scan UPC codes of things that you have in your house. So, this will just give you an idea of the fees, of how things sell, what is selling on Amazon or not. And that will not cost you money, right? So just walk around your house, because maybe that used board game that you haven't played for a few years is selling for $50 on Amazon if it's discontinued with some special edition. That happens often. Then when you go, start looking at stores. Every time you go to a grocery store or any type of supermarket or a small store, start scanning everything. Just start seeing, because you will, I promise you will, if you do this consistently, you will come across things that you can sell. Then, assuming that you find something, and you can definitely find something around your house, right? I understand that if you're in a store and you haven't come across something that you cannot, maybe generate profit, you don't have to buy it. But if you find something around your house that you don't mind, it's a sunk cost, right? So you can list it even if maybe at some point you paid more for it. Because in week 2, you can start testing it. You can add your product to appropriate Amazon listings, so you can start experiencing the process, how it works. So list used books, list, I mentioned board games or whatever things else you can find. Sorry, there's a letter here I'm missing. If you bought something in a store, even if it's great profit, I suggest you test small quantities first. So let's say you are in your local Walmart and have huge clearance on toys, and you have this, there are 10, I don't know, some type of Superman toy that you can see on Amazon. You can buy it for $9 and it's selling for $30. I would still suggest to kind of cap it. Don't buy all 10 because things can change and you're just starting out. It's better to invest smaller and cap your profits than potentially open up for losses in the beginning. So hopefully that makes sense. Go wide before going deep. And then you just add products to on the listing and you price it to sell. And then week 3. Week 3, you assuming that you gathered some items, you have some things that you, even from your home, that you can sell. So here's where I suggest to pack it and ship it using FBA method. And it can be, if it's, you have only 5 things, I would say wait a little bit more, find more. I would say you get up to 20 items that you can pack and ship. It's probably good enough to start for your first shipment. So because this way you get to know FBA process. And Amazon has a lot of tutorials how to package and ship. So I figured out just by learning and rating, and my first shipment took me, a few hours, but then it just gets easy and easy, the second one and third one. And then week 3, continue looking for products, doing research, you learn. This is the time where you don't have to invest a lot of money. And I would suggest not to. This is where you slowly start getting into the game. All right, everybody's with me. All right, week 4. Okay, so in week 3, you send off shipment to Amazon. So week 4, sometimes it takes, depending on what warehouse they sent you, you can, it can take a little bit longer, but if the shipment was received and processed, which takes probably, I would say, week to 10 days, sometimes could be longer during higher times, busy times like Christmas. So you check your managed inventory in your Seller Central, and then you price for buy box. That's what I suggest. So you can start seeing how, start getting items getting sold. So you can start getting sales and get momentum. So, check it in your managed inventory, and your if your FBA shipment was not received, you can check status and manage FBA shipments. So just kind of keep an eye on buy box. So when your items go live, meaning when they're processed and received available for sale, if for whatever reason price in the buy box went up, you can adjust it so that way you can capture that higher price, right? So kind of keep an eye on it. So let's say when you sent it in, the product was selling for $20. When they received it, it's now for 25. So you can adjust it so that way, you are still, you have a good chance of getting buy box, but you can get that extra $5. So that's kind of the overview of the 4 weeks. And it might seem a little bit overwhelming, but I'm telling you, that's how I started, and it is doable. So it does take, to kind of really launch your business in 30 days. The process you would use, you either kind of selling things from your home or the arbitrage model, because other models take a little bit longer. But it's a great way to start because you can start with very little money. You can start getting to know the process and, start seeing things, how they sell, what works, what doesn't. So because you can change later on, right? You can go to and create your own product. You can work as a business and look for wholesale accounts. So you can do a lot of other things, but arbitrage is a great model to start with to sell on Amazon because you can do it quickly, you can do it fast with little capital. Now, how does this all sound? How does this sound? Is it overwhelming? Is it a little bit overwhelming? Maybe. If you're not familiar with Amazon, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And this is what I hear often is when you start looking and researching, it's a complete information overload. You can have, I've heard things like I have problem choosing an area or niche because obviously there is such a wide array of products you can choose from. I started, but I don't have clear direction or I feel stuck. Then, I want to have a flying start. I want to jump, get going fast, but just things are not moving fast. And then in the end, emotions, it's our money, right? It's our time and money. So it takes a little bit to, a little bit of kind of just having faith in, even if you're nervous to take the plunge, then you can still do it, because you can have a little bit of being nervous and maybe have a little bit of fear and anxiety, but just take small steps, because action overcomes fear, because action means you're progressing, right? You're making progress, you're building something. So this is how, I'll tell you, this is how, if you feel this way, I have been there, absolutely. I was like this little boy, or maybe even worse. I was confused and overwhelmed, and I was a bit scared because, I was taking my savings from my account. I invested $1,000 of my hard-earned money, and I've managed to build it into a six-figure business, but I didn't know it was going to work or not, right? Am I going to make money? So I absolutely understand if that's how you feel. Now, what if I told you, if you could start, but you had a step-by-step process and support and guidance and expert, advice, accountability element to make sure that you're moving along, with each week, as we just covered. That also anything, helping you get the success mindset, because I've done a lot of self-development work, in the last year or so. And this is more than just selling on Amazon. This is just the success mindset that applies to anything you do in life. So if you had that support and perspective from, to build the right mindset as well. And you could also have lifetime access to instructional material. It's videos, worksheets, documents, cheat sheets, tools, resources. So how would you feel? Do you think it would remove overwhelm a little bit? I hope so, because I know that if I had that at the beginning, I wouldn't have made the mistakes I made. It would have taken me faster. I wouldn't have spent so much time and so much frustration to build my business. So that's in some point, I think maybe investing earlier on in some guidance would have been, I don't want to say I would regret it not doing it, but it got me on the faster track, definitely. So I want to tell you that I do have an 8-week private coaching program. So it's a one-on-one coaching. And it is, I'm running probably a couple more Google Hangouts, and I'm going to cap it because, there's limit. I give a lot of attention to each student or each client. So, there is only so many I can take. So it is limited time offer, generally, because I'm very committed to giving you the best materials and the access to me, and to make sure that you start making money and get your return on investment of working with me, within, if you do everything, if that we work with, then you'll be within, 3 to 6 months at most. So I'll tell you quickly what includes that. So in 8 weeks, so we have 2 months together. So there is, we have assessment call. We talked about how much time you have, what is your budget, and what is your why you want to start it, because that is very important. This business, any business, it should be built around your life. It should be helping you build in your dreams and lift your, in your, what you want to achieve, right? And I feel so strong about it, which is why I'll always start with your why, because it's not about making money, because it's something about more, right? It's about leaving the job you hate, or, saving your kids more, or doing something that you love. It's a lot more about that. Then we come up with based on that, all those criteria, we come up week by week plan. You love thrifting, so let's hit it hard, right? So we start with that, and then get momentum, get sales, and then, kind of expand in other ones. You hate going to physical stores, so we're going to then really focus on online arbitrage, maybe, get your wholesale, something that you can really work from your computer. That includes 1 hour a week call. So when we go through homework, when we go through everything's going on, how your week's been, and then you have also access by email. If it's something really quick and you need an answer, especially if you're in a store and you're looking at an item and you're like, well, should I buy it or not? You have access to me because this is what I'm here for. So I think that would have been so, like that one especially would have been so critical for me when I started, because it would have avoided me some costly mistakes. And then you have all the supporting material. You have videos and worksheets that I'll share, depending, that's very tailored to you. And then also additional items, just so, when you get kind of a, bigger new business that I'll share with you to help you along the way. So even if, we no longer work together, then you can still have all that material. Now, okay, so we went through that, and you quickly, you'll learn what you learn and implement. This is what I promise you will get in working with me. So you learn how to source the right products that, that you make money on. Then what are the tools and methods to, how do you make decisions? What do you look at? What do you use? Then everything about money, because there's so many costs and fees that go into play. What do you do with taxes, anything other, there's so many, monthly storage fees. I mean, all those other things that you might not know. I learned them as I go, and sometimes they were a surprise. So this is what you kind of get up front, so you have an idea. Analyze any product like a pro. So you will, in 8 weeks, you will, by end, you will be able to, to analyze product like a seasoned seller, because we're going to look at so many examples. FBA process, simple things like you bought something and you don't know how to package it. You say, hey, Irina, how do I, what do I do with this? And I'll show you, we can do it over Skype or, a quick video. How do you package it to make sure Amazon receives it? Everything about that nitty-gritty of how to send it in right. How do you market, promote your product? And that's if it's something, let's say, create your own listing. How do you get it in front of customer eyes, right? That's very important. Answers to any small or big questions. I'm here for you. So that's what I promise. I'm committed to getting you go. Not just getting you go, but get you, get your sales and have the right foundation, which is very important, because after that, it's kind of like teaching to fish, and a little bit of giving fish, but it's a lot of teaching to fish, because that's really what you need. And then, in the end, how do we automate and scale it so you can take time away, and you can take time off and go, like I showed you pictures in the beginning, how work at your time, or take a couple of days in the middle of the weekend, or take vacation and go to Mexico, wherever you want to go, and not worry about your Amazon business stopping. Now, there are some things that I want to say, because it is a lot about commitment, right? So it is for you. Working with me is for you if you want to make a change and achieve something bigger. So it requires commitment, because it is work. I would lie if I said that this is going to be easy. This is not going to take a lot of time, because just like anything good in life, it has to be work. You remove this. Now, also, it is for you if you do have a product or you have some money that you can invest in inventory. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it needs to be, a few $100s to start with. And it is not for you if you don't have, or you're not willing to commit 5-10 hours a week. Because each week we do, there's assignment, so to make sure that you are progressing and learning and building your business. You're comfortable with status quo, you're fine with your life, then no, it is not probably a good fit. And if you do not like tough love coaching style, because I will obviously support you in everything, but I will also be, bring accountability element where, making sure that you do what we agreed on you're going to do, and you put in it, time and work to make sure that you're moving along. So it is, if you didn't do what we agreed on, then I'm going to call you out on that, because otherwise it's just not worth it. Then it's, you might just as well not do it. So if it's something that you would be interested in, we can do assessment call. It doesn't cost you anything. It's, there's no obligation whatsoever. So you can look me up on calendly.com/seller ladder. Or I also do Periscopes, and I also have a Facebook page under Seller Ladder. So, book, you can pick my brain. You can ask whatever questions you have. And it doesn't have to be even about coaching program. If you have question just in general about selling on Amazon, I'm happy to, to give my time, for whatever questions you have. And in the end, I want to leave you with this phrase, with this, I think it was by Tim Ferriss. We all have our dreams, right? And conditions are never perfect. And someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. If it's important to you and you want to eventually do it, just do it. Do it before you run out of time. Do it before it's too late. Waiting is a mistake. You know how many times we have dreams and things we want to do, but we always put it off. And I'm guilty of that too. It doesn't, what I want to say is that, look in here, the mediocre action is better than perfect plan, or or better perfect planning or anything that in the future, because it's now, it's action, it's doing it. So regardless of whether you reach out to me or not, I hope that this presentation has been helpful. If you're not clear on how to start, this is, I gave you a week by week plan, because this is what I did. That's how I built my business. And I sent items, I started looking. Within a week, 10 days, I found some, I sent a shipment in, and I was selling, by week 4 of fifth week, probably about 30, maybe 40 days, depending on which warehouse it was received. So it's doable. I did it and others done it. So take this information from the presentation and please apply. That's my big request, I guess, for you, right? So remember that someday it will never come. So just do it. Again, if you want to reach out and ask me any questions, if you have any questions on the coaching program or anything in regards to selling on Amazon, you can book time, or you can also reach out to me at sellerladder@gmail.com. I don't have fancy website. I don't have huge marketing, because this is me. I don't have assistants. I work with you. I talk with you. I answer your questions. I answer emails. So you get you get you get my time and you get my commitment. All right, so that was it. Thank you so much for sticking around and for listening. And again, I hope this has been helpful, and I give you some action plan how to start your Amazon journey. You know how to find me. Thank you. Take care.